Alright, as you can see, I got the engine for Optimus Prime done, and it is all weathered up. I got the belts assembled, the oil pan, and everything that goes on here. Fuel filters, and the water pump, and fan. Every neat little thing that goes on this engine. Even the chrome headers, or what I assume to be headers. So, as you can see, it's not a mustard color. It is in fact green. In my research, I discovered that the products that this particular engine manufacturer made, the commercial products, at least for trucks and such, were this green. It's yellow on the box, and that yellow kind of is for their Caterpillar products. So they're like they're earth movers and diggers and dump trucks and such. That's the color in those things. The color in the trucks is this. And yes, as most industrial products go, they do paint the whole engine in one color. So yeah, it's the starter painted over, the exhaust painted over, the air cleaner, everything is painted over in this brand green they use. So I weathered it like I want Prime to be like a working truck, a truck that's actually when he's not being an Autobot and saving the universe and all that jazz, he works. He's a hauler, and so I wanted him to be dirtied up and dusty. So I got dirt and mud splatters on the oil pan and some of the transmission here, along with the belts and a little bit on the fan, and even a little bit on the air cleaner. It's got some dust on it, and dust streaks back over the top a little. There is some grease and oil around the engine. Just wanted to give him a very lived-in feel for this build. I want him to look like he's actually been through the desert and not spiffy clean. So that's where we're at right now, and the next step is the tires, and then we move on to the frame. So I'll catch you up when we get to those. Alright, this is quite a jump from the just the engine being done. I didn't document much of this, but mainly because there's a lot of little pieces going to be a big piece, and not a lot of fun. I guess a lot to go over with the truck here. The rails aren't perfectly straight. They're just a little bit off, as are a lot of other stuff, like these. Anyways, so, but as you can see, I've got the frame almost done and weathered. With some pastels. I even splattered some mud up on the air cleaner and kind of over the the radiator there, and down on the tires. I saw so many builds of this, and the reason I saw so many builds of this is because I had to see so many builds of this, because Gentle Fragile, these are horrible. I don't know why. I think it's round 2. Is it round 2? Yeah, round 2. Didn't update the instructions, but they really should, because oh god, it's like, okay, the tilt pump here, tilt pump. There's a tilt pump. Okay, you put the two pieces together. There's a chrome piece. That's the top. There's the tilt pump right there, right? But here's your vague placement of the tilt pump. It's somewhere in here. You know, somewhere. And again, these none of these parts are numbered. They're all numbered here, but they're not numbered on the parts. So not only do you have to cut everything off and kind of look back at the tree and look and make sure that's the right shape, and that vaguely looks like what they're talking about there, these vague drawings from the 70s, 80s maybe. So, yeah. And stupid things. I watched several videos and I still didn't quite get these correctly. Now, the problem is, it just shows the engine. It just says, see, here's the engine, and it just says, yeah, it goes somewhere in there, you know. You know where engines go. It goes around here. Well, yes, it does go around there. But there's a couple things here. And I just broke that. Okay, well, that's okay. I'll put it back. There, it's all better. There are mounting brackets. And they're L-shaped mounting brackets. Let's see if I can show you on the instructions. They actually picture that. Yeah, they look like they got a little shelf here. Except for these aren't quite right. Unless I put the transmission on upside down. Which could be possible. No, it's not. But they go on the inside of the frame here. And they connect on the engine's supposed to be at a slight angle. Now, the reason the engine's supposed to be at a slight angle because the pipe that goes in between here and here doesn't have enough clearance if the engine is perfectly level, which it sort of kind of is. So I had to cut off a bunch of material under of that pipe. So the underside of that pipe doesn't exist. And it still doesn't go down quite all the way. There's like a space in between there. Also, everything doesn't line up correctly, and thus my smokestacks are kind of wonky. They're kind of bent inward, kind of off to the side, kind of make me mad. Also, this pipe is not long enough to connect to those pipes, so that little chrome piece there is an extension from just the chrome tree, which is awesome, by the way. You have to do that. And there's just so much other little stuff I've probably forgot about that I needed to watch many YouTube videos to figure out. So these are crap. I'm going to burn them. And let's see, what else? You can obviously see I've started weathering. I've seen some really cool builds of this. I've seen a couple of builds that did some great weathering. Really grunged it up. The frame and the engine looks perfect, and didn't touch the tires. The tires looks brand spanking new. It's just weird to look at this truck and I just have these tires that aren't worn out a little bit. So what I did is I took some sandpaper and just wore them down a little, and then I used my pastels to give them some dirt and grime. You can't tell, but there's a bunch of dirt and dust splattered on the inside of these mud flaps, and I did it all kind of all over the place. Even the undercarriage has mud splashed up and dirt and grime and all kinds of stuff where it would gather on a truck. So the frame is almost done. There's how many more things? A couple more things I have to do to the frame. Let me think. 2 more things. The fender skirts are that away, and I've got them taped up because I'm going to paint part of them. And then the gas tanks are yonder, and I've got some really nice all-clad paint, which I'll be painting those. They're just sitting there prepped. And I've started the interior, which will be tan. And I just added 1 coat of paint right there today, just a few minutes ago. It's going to be tan and brown. And I have to still, and I totally forgot, paint the other side of the bucket here. Here's the interior bucket. It is just gray or primer. And the bottom here, I just put some charcoal on. The cab is right over there with his first coat of paint just sitting there, letting it dry and then cure, and then Could hit it with another coat, sand it, and wet sand it and see what happens. So that's where I am with the build right now. Anything else? I don't think anything else. I think that's where I'm with the build. I'll probably do another one when I get the interior and the cab put together here, which will be in the next few days. But I think that wraps it up. So I'll see you guys next time. So I'm pretty much done here with the assembly on the frame, except the skirts, fenders. Yeah, I've got these on. Now I have to weather the tanks and then put the skirts on and weather them. I got the interior here done. You can see it's all done. Two different kind of tans and a brown. We got the instrument clusters in there, detailed, and the tape deck. And the floor mats, hardly see them, but they're there. So that's done. And I'm working on the paint for the actual external cab here. Which I did this kind of red with the metal flake. It just doesn't look too horrible. There's some orange peel in it, but it doesn't look too horrible here or here. Here is a little wonky. That's not too bad, but then you come over to here, and then that, there I can see the reflection looks craptastic. And it's all because of this beautiful Testors paint. The color is pretty good. It's just, I hate how Testors sprays. This has happened with every can of Testors paint I've ever had. I don't know why I keep buying this. I just don't spray it forever and forget, and then crap. So I'm probably going to strip this and just paint it a nice fire engine red instead of going fancy and all metal flaky on it. And then I got my little Autobot logos here. Logos here. I'm hoping that one of these fits on the steering wheel. They're a little big. Oh, and here's a bed you'll never see. And this is mainly to kind of line this up, which is slightly off. This thing here. I got it forward a little bit, but that won't affect anything. Yeah, that's why the bed's here, and it goes on just like that. And just kind of to help you, there's kind of a right angle for this thing. Which again, I still managed to mess up just a touch. It doesn't matter once you get into the cab, though. It doesn't change anything. So that is where I'm at. What else? Very little else to do on the assembly here, on the assembly side. So getting close to done. Just a little bit of painting left, and we'll be good. Oh, that's all for this update. Check you later. So here we are, almost done. I just have some chrome bits to put on. The mirrors, lights, some rungs here that go up and down the side, the step ladders to get into the cab, which go right behind the fender there, or well, kind of behind the wheel there, tire. I've been putting on decals because I don't want to, well, I want to weather the license plates here. I'll put some weathering down here, and I got an Oregon plate, I got a Wisconsin plate, and I got an Indiana plate because those places are so near each other. And then there's that multi-state plate there. Got the stripes that go along the side here. We got the MnDOT thing there. We got the, or US dot, not MnDOT. That's the state, but it's US dot. And then the whatever those things are. I think they're states and brandings. The white Freightliner should be right there, and yeah, this stripe was fun to get on, by the way. The getting the interior into the cab was a thing. It is super tight. Should have shaved some of it down or sanded some of it down. It was so tight that it in fact did crack the seam
If you can kind of see where it cracked, there's the seam. Kind of hard to make out, but it did crack that seam open. So I had to repair that and repaint it. So be careful if you're putting the interior in the cab. I don't have a lot of paint, not thick paint. A little primer and then a dusting of charcoal, and it still was just too much, and it just cracked it when I was trying to get in there. I was being super careful too. You're trying to be super careful and trying to put enough force to force it into the shell there is a thing. So be careful. Right now I am just waiting for the decals to dry, and then I'm gonna seal them. Let's see here. I did not put an Autobot logo on the steering wheel. It is way too small for that, and I didn't have one small enough. I painted a little red blotch on there, so there's a little red blotch on the steering wheel that doesn't look like anything. There is, however, if I can get it on camera, if I can do this and not break everything, there is an Autobot logo in there. It's kind of hard to show the inside of this without getting glare. There it kind of is. You can kind of see it. It's right there, just kind of subtle, hidden on the side of the console. And I was going to put them on the outside, but that kind of defeats the purpose of disguise. If you put a giant faction logo on the outside of your vehicle, kind of easy to tell what you are and who you are for. So the nice subtle one on the inside is just enough for me. I did number it 84 there, and I did put the driver as Spike there on the side. So just some more chrome, just some weathering, and then there'll be the final reveal. So here we are, finally done. All the rest of the chrome is on. All the mirrors and the rungs and the ladders, everything's done. I'll be putting some, let's see here. I just pulled this up to look at the engine compartment and scraped off a bit of the decal there, so I'll just hide that with some more weathering. You can see I got some weathering around down in here on the ladder. So yeah, it is finito. So this was a fun build, some challenging in parts, but pretty fun. One thing about the engine that I forgot to mention is Cummins engines are beige, but for some reason when I did a Google search, they all came up as that olive green, so that's what I painted it. And the chrome on this kit is on the trees in places where you definitely will see it. You can make out little chips here and there on these lights, little chips on the rungs, little chips. Every piece of chrome has got a little chip on it because of the way it's on the tree. I don't know how round 2 can fix that, because it's the original mold and you'd have to redo all the chrome. So I don't know if that's fixable, but just a warning if you're going to build. I like the chrome. I don't want to strip it and paint it with alclads. I just like the chrome, even the fronts of these. So that's how I left it. And just for the heck of it, let's bring in the old MP10 to kind of finish it off. As you can see what I was going for in the colors, the red and the kind of the red and the blue. So he kind of matched. So all in all, fun and a good experience. I don't build many trucks, but I think I will build a few more trucks. I want to build a couple more. I've got some plans for. So that is it for this build. I will catch you guys later. Actually, let me transform him and I'll put the two trucks side to side. We'll see what that looks like. And there he is, next to MP10. Which is a much more compact version of the truck, and I think a newer version. So, oh, forgot the mirrors. Always forget the mirrors there. So, there is the final shot there. 2 trucks together. Move the Ecto 1. And that'll do it for this build. Thanks for watching.